Hello everyone. One of my students has requested to assess his letter, and I'm gonna assess this. He is a doctor by occupation. Let's go through this letter. He has written down the date on the top. That's good. And then this is the addressee, Dr. Gerald Michael. He is the dietitian. But unfortunately, whenever you have to write it down, you have to write down the dietitian. You have to add the in front of that. But he didn't do that. It's not good. The dietitian. Sorry, the dietitian. So that's one of the mistakes. All right, let's go to the next one. Next one is Newton Hospital. That's okay. Dear Dr. Michael, you need to place a comma here. Place a comma, please. After the salutation, you need to place a comma. And he has used the surname of the addressee, which is really good. And then the reference details of the patient, which is all right. But unfortunately, he didn't expand the date of birth. So DOB needs to be replaced with the date of birth. It's really important that you expand all the abbreviations, whether it is the DOB or anything else. All right. Let's go to the introduction paragraph. I'm writing to refer Mrs. Gordon's, that's good, who has a history of diabetes and requires dietary management. Okay. This comma needs to be removed. Please remove this comma. Okay. In short, you will either use two commas or no commas. So if you are going to add another information, for example, I'm writing to refer Mrs. Gordons who has a history of diabetes and requires management. And then if you add additional information, say blah, 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 blah here, and then if you put a full stop, then you can place one comma here and then another comma here. But at present, he didn't include, okay, an additional information. And as a result, this is incorrect. Okay, let's go to the next one. Mrs. Gordons is a married retired teacher and has two children. Okay, so married retired teacher. Okay, so it's, I think it's not needed. You don't need to use married here. This could have been removed. Remove this, please. If it doesn't make any difference, you can remove this. If it doesn't add any value to your writing, you can remove this. Okay, he is a Mrs. Gordons. He is a retired teacher and has two children. That's good. She doesn't smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol. Okay, so what you could have done is you could have written on, she is neither a smoker nor a drinker. Neither a smoker nor a drinker. Okay, I mean, there is always a better way of writing down. So this one represents the same information using less words. Okay, that is what we need. She is neither a smoker nor a drinker. All right. Her family history is significant for diabetes and cardiovascular disorders. Her BMI is 25.3, but it's not 0.3. He has done, he has used a comma. Okay. Her body mass index. He need to use the full form of BMI. You can't use any abbreviations in your writing. It's not good. It's always recommended to write in full words because writing is always formal. It is always 100% formal. That's fine. Okay. One of the problems with his writing is that he has been continuously writing down simple sentences only, which is not good. If you use only simple sentences in your letter, you will less likely to score B grade and above. Okay, sorry. So you have to use a combination of sentence structures such as simple, complex, and compound. Okay. All right, let's go through here. On 29/3/2018, let's go through the date here. So today's date is 30/3/2018, isn't it? So if he has written on 29, he could have used yesterday. You don't need to, you need to interpret the dates in the form of time references. So what he could have done is he could have mentioned yesterday, comma, instead of just writing down the same day. Okay. If it is 2 days before, then you have to say 2 days ago. If it is 3 days ago, you have to say 3 days ago. Do not write down the date here. If it is a week ago, please write down a week ago. Do not write down the date. You are the one who needs to interpret the date in the form of time references. Okay, it's not good if you write down the same date again. Mrs. Gordons was admitted to the hospital due to hypoglycemia. That's okay. She fainted at bathroom and had a slurred speech. On examination, she was feverish, tachypneic, tachypneic, and then normotensive. An appropriate treatment was provided and the laboratory tests were ordered. That's fine, but most of these sentences again are falling under the simple sentence structure only. Please use a combination of complex, compound, and simple structures. So you have to use a combination of simple, complex, and compound sentence structures. You can't just use only one sentence structure in your writing. It's not good. All right, let's go to the next one. Today, Mrs. Gordons visited me for the test results. Her fasting blood sugar concentration was 5.6 millimole per liter. He could have expanded this one. Prendial blood sugar level was 7 millimole per liter, and HbA1c was 6.7 percentage. Okay. If they are normal, you could have mentioned, her, blood sugar concentration, postprandial blood sugar level, and I think this one is hemoglobin level, isn't it? HbA1c, is that right? Does anyone have any idea about this?
No, sir. Hemoglobin is the blood glucose level for 6 months, sir.
Okay, what about this one? Do you have any idea about this? Okay, if you don't have an idea, it's okay. That's all right. So you could have summarized the results instead of, summarized the results in less words, okay, if possible. So if these results could have been summarized in a better way, could have been summarized, but okay, we don't need to mention if they are normal. If all these results are normal, we can simply mention like these things, like her fasting blood sugar concentration, postprandial blood sugar level, and HbA1c were normal, were within normal range, something like that. Hypercholesterolstomia was also identified. Other tests were within normal limits. Okay, good. So which means these are the abnormal ones. So he has mentioned it here. So I'm happy with that. So that's fine. If they are abnormal, then it's okay. And then her other tests were within normal. Okay. See, he has included this one, and then he has also included the contradicting results, right? It's better to write down, however, her. So he could have replaced the full stop with the phrase, however, comma, and then he could have joined these two sentences together. So it's not good, isn't it? You can't just keep on writing down only the simple sentence. Okay. All right, you could have replace the full stop with however, and join the next sentence to combine them together. Okay, so together in one sentence you can do it. Okay, that's That should be the one. And then included FBE, UNA, creatinine, and LFTs. All abbreviations need to be expanded. All abbreviations need to be expanded. You should not write down FB. You have to say full blood examination, urea, and electrolyte, or whatever the expansions. You have to write them down. All right. Let's go to the next one. She has been commenced on atorvastatin and Clipsin. Okay. The recommendations regarding diet and have intake, okay, medication intake have been discussed. That's good. So the way he has used, the passive voice is good. I'm happy with that. So most of the sentences were in passive form, which is good. However, they are in simple sentence structure form. That's a bad thing. Okay, so there's one positive and one negative thing. All right, I would appreciate it if you could provide that. If you could, okay, so instead of writing down if you provide, you could have you added this one. If you could please provide. Okay, this actually makes the letter even more formal. Okay, so please add this phrase, please. So you could have added this phrase. All right. Provide further management and assessment for Mrs. Gordons. If you have any queries, no. It's better to use questions rather than queries. Questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Okay, good. I'm happy with that. Yours sincerely, you need to place a comma. Please place a comma here. This is really important. And then you shouldn't write down doctor, you have to say the doctor. All right. Okay, let's go through the assessment now. One thing is grammar isn't good, isn't up to the mark. Use of simple sentences alone isn't good. You should use a range of simple, complex, and compound sentence structures in your letter. Use of prepositions, articles, nouns, and verbs could have been better. And what else? Spelling is all right, but vocabulary could have been better with the use of formal words. Connectivity could have been better as well, because he didn't use connecting phrases, to link the sentences together. Overall, task fulfillment is below average. Okay, let me go through the remaining things. Okay, what do we have? Okay, yeah, passive sentence. Passive voice is used in majority of the sentences. You have done a good job. So this is one of the good things he has done.
What?
Apart from that, didn't do much well. Anyway, so let me go through the spelling is up to the mark. However, abbreviations need to be expanded. He didn't expand the abbreviations, which is not good. I'm not really happy with that. And let's check whether he has used all the relevant case notes in his letters or not. Okay, this is the patient's name, so that's fine. that's okay. And then date of birth, that's all right. And then height, that's okay. Weight, that's fine. Social history, you just you could have mentioned retired teacher. And then non-smoker, non-drinker, that's fine. Just mentioned those things. And then substance intake nil, and then penicillin drugs, allergies, that's good. But he didn't include the penicillin allergy. I think it's not needed because the address doesn't need to know this. Mother diabetes, hypertension, father hypertension, migraine, maternal grandmother unknown, maternal grandfather died of colon cancer, paternal grandmother died of heart attack 70, paternal grandfather unknown. Okay, pre-MHS, appendectomy, jaundice. Okay, that's the previous medical history. All right, let's go to the next one. 2007 diabetes, RX metformin 500 mg OD. Okay, that's fine. These things are okay. All right, and then 2008 menopause, lump on the left breast. Okay, this is done. This is, but these things are not that important. Okay. All right, fainted at the bathroom. That's important. Semi-conscious, trouble talking, hospitalized by her daughter. No, that's not needed actually. Cold hands, extreme sweating, VSL, that's all right. Vital signs, that's okay. Observations 2 hours. Patient stable, stopped the clip trained for 1 week. Review at clinic after 1 week. Pathology requested. That is all fine. Creatinine for lipid problem. Okay, review at clinic after 1 week. Okay, let's see. The pathology reports received. That's fine. That's okay. Range, full lipid profile. That's all right. Okay, so review pathology reports with the patient. Change in medication recommended. Atorvastatin changed to 20 mg or 5 mg restarted. Patient request for health education on diabetes and diet management. Refer to dietitian for dietary management. So the dietitian needs to provide dietary guidelines. Patient request for health education on diabetes and diet management. Okay, all right. Management of this patient to the dietitian. Okay, good. Yep, all good. And let me see if there is anything is missing. All right, where's that? That's okay. For further management assessment for Mrs. Gordon's. Okay, further management, but it's mainly for the diet. So he could have included that. Could you please provide, if he could please provide dietary guidelines and further management, that would have been much better. So that's how he could have done that. But I think, yeah, all the case notes are included. All the relevant case notes are included. Well done. Okay, so the expected score is, as he has committed several grammatical mistakes, to me, this sounds like C grade letter. It's not that good because he has committed several mistakes. According to me, he must be able to get about 260 out of 500. Great. Okay, it's going to be a C grade letter anyway. All right,